before we get into a few questions, if you guys wouldn't mind, just going through, maybe starting with DL, give us a little background on yourself and how you got to be here.
Yeah, my name is DL. I'm currently a CR England driver with the Walmart division out of Southern California, and just came to the job about 6 months ago, and loving every minute of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. BC?
BC, same thing. Started with about 6 months ago?
6 months ago.
6 months ago. Actually, we started as a team. So we came in as a team, signed in online, and came to the whole training process together. So, and then BC started out with music back before that, and just trying to, make a good living and take care of my family. And so far, so good. Coming into CR England, trying to get that rise going. Just next steps.
There you go. Great. Don?
Don Tyler, student athlete, entrepreneur, rap artist,
And family friend, huh?
Yes, sir. Here with my guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. It's a pleasure to have you guys all with us. Let's start off with the music. Tell us, and just you guys can speak however you want to do this. Give us a little bit of feel for your background with the music industry, your passion for music.
Well, I mean, my background for the music goes back a long way. In the 90s, I was on a group on MCA called For Example, and we had a top 20 hit, Billboard 100, toured the world with a lot of artists that are still out there doing their thing right now. And, it's a lot of politics in the industry, so things kind of happened, and I went solo, did that, and same thing, had a song go 32 on the Billboard, and kind of got politics again, and so I kind of got depressed and kind of left the industry, and that's when I got into the workforce, and just been a lot of ins and out on that, and that brought, me together with my partner here. This is my partner of 20 years. We've been partners for, since I met my wife, and we kind of went through it together, and he's actually doing music as well, so we do a lot of work together in the music industry, and things kind of hit the fan, and we kind of joined CR England together, so, and we're just kind of working this thing, and then the song came about. Yeah, CR, the wheels.
We'll get to that in just a minute. DL, what's your background?
It's like,
Similar story?
It's similar. It's like in the industry, there's a lot of ups and downs, good times, bad times, and definitely we're both family men, so we want something consistent. So we were looking for something that could take care of everything, balancing both work as well as music. Same thing with him. I've had a Billboard chart record, been signed to a label, currently working on another deal now. So we're pretty excited about the movement of that side of our lives, but we're also excited about our careers and our future.
Exactly.
Hopefully with this company, as we continue, we want to balance the both. So we're just trying to find a way to find that balance.
Find the balance, exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
I myself, music has always been a part of my juggling act. I'm a student, and play football as well. So, I started out with an independent recording label called Cali Art Music Group throughout high school, performed all throughout Hollywood, and did some things, rocked some shows, and just at this point now, being a little older, just turned 21, I'm able to transition and handle music more along with my student and my athlete. So
there you go.
Busy guy.
Yeah.
Busy guys, busy group. Yeah, that's great.
Just try to make it work.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Tell me a little bit more about, for DL and BC, about your experience in joining the company. How did that come to be?
Well, I was, how it all happened was he was at work, and I was in the studio looking online, looking at some opportunities, and he called me, and I was already on your website about to fill out the application, and he called me from the job and was like, "What you doing?" I said, "BC, man, I need something a little bit more secure."
Yeah.
So we went ahead, and he told me, "Well, what are you talking about?" I said, "Well, either go back to school, finish up, or go into this truck driving thing."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, what's going on with the truck driving thing?" I said, "Well, this is what I got online." And I was online on the site with the application. And he says, "Well, find out more information." A couple hours, I called him back.
Yeah.
We signed up later on that night, and before you know it, we were in class. 17 days later, we were on the truck.
Yeah.
And
That's
been a blessing.
That's the story too.
Yeah.
I was on this job, it's kind of, not making much money, and I kind of had to go to that job from another job making good money, and
Right.
kind of had to just do what I had to do. And so I was doing that, and like he said, I called him, and he was like, either school or trucking. And I was like, and I was already thinking about trucking, because like I said, my brother started out in the trucking, years ago. So when he called me, I was like, hey, well, look into it. I was at work now. And then he called me back again while I was working and said, hey, it's just looking good, man. You need to go ahead and get this thing started.
Yeah.
I put in my 2 weeks notice. Boom. We went down, started with Premier School. In 17 days, did the classwork, which was, man, it was kind of going back to school, and I haven't been to school in a long time. We made it happen though. We were in the top 5 of our class.
Talk about the class when you were there. It's rigorous. I've been through it.
Yeah.
There's a lot you have to do.
Yeah.
How quickly, from when you started, did you actually have your CDL, and how did the licensing process go?
What was that like
We did a written test 3 days. We had
3 days.
permit
We had
in
the
3
permit.
days. Yeah.
3 days.
3
and you
days
had
into it, you have your permit?
Yeah.
And then the classrooms were just so fast.
It was up pace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I guess since you guys have to cram it all in the 17 days, it's up pace, so you have to really be on it, and
You know what, Zach? Not to cut you off. It's you got to buy into it, and I think that's we went in with a mind frame that this is what we want to do.
Exactly.
We want to take this over. Like
Yeah.
we put energy into the classes like we do when we're in the studio,
We did.
and everything after that was cake.
Yeah.
It was
See, what we did before we even went to school, when we filled out the application online, we automatically started Googling stuff about truck driving.
Back it
Because
up.
we never drove a truck before, So we started Googling things and looking at film. And so that when we got to the class, we were kind of reading and we were like, oh man, we kind of know the answers,
Yeah.
And so we kind of just went through, like I said, we kind of graduated in our top 5, got on the truck and made sure we paid attention. When we got to the class, we sat in the front.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we was trying to sit in the
Yeah.
back, We wanted to know.
Everything.
What was your experience for the first time when you went in a truck out on the road through the school process when you were with your instructor? How was that? How was it a pretty intimidating experience? What was it like?
Well, my father's a former truck driver, so I would go with him when I was younger, and it was something that I probably didn't want to do when I was a kid. I was like, nah, Pop, I don't want to do this. So when I got in the truck, I kind of felt like I'm gonna enter. It's gonna be an experience just like that, but it was different. Got in there and they pretty much help you with everything.
they help you with
You're real comfortable. You're only nervous because it's your first time.
Yeah.
But they pretty much tell you everything, what you need to know, what you need to do, and they walk you through everything. They were definitely a blessing. It was a great situation.
Yeah, you guys have some great trainers out in the field, and what I mean by that is the guys that are working at the facility that are teaching you how to back the truck. You got straight line backing, you got your alley docking, and they teach you things to a T so that when you do get into that truck and you have that 53-foot trailer behind you, you know how to guide that thing. So it's, you guys got some great trainers that really stuck to us and made us really get it.
Yeah.
So how did you feel starting with, you'd done some work on Google and that sort of thing, you had a little knowledge, to 17 days later, you're ready to go out full time on a truck.
Yeah.
What was that process? I mean, from a fulfillment standpoint, how did you feel after you got through that?
Go ahead.
You know what, Zach? I drive a sports car. So coming from a sports car to a big truck was like a big thing. But I love driving my car. Me and my daughter, we actually get out and, we go drive and get lost. So I like to drive,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So when we got on the truck, it was like, okay, this big old truck, it was kind of intimidating. But once I got behind the wheel, it's like, I kind of feel like I'm in my car, Had the radio on, so I'm good. And it just got to make sure, I'm watching the mirrors and I have the 53-foot trailer behind me. So I kind of felt comfortable. It was intimidating, but I didn't let it mess with me in my mind. That's just my thought. So I kind of feel like I'm in my sports car at the same time because I like to drive. And it's just a great experience. And then getting out on the road and just seeing new places because, being in the music industry, I saw a lot from the top, from the planes. But then I got in the truck, I actually got to see a lot of the, the land that God has created for us. Being down on the ground, just seeing it from the truck, and it's a lot of beautiful things out there. That's just my point of view.
That's great.
Yeah, for me, going through the experience was great. Accomplishing, what we set out to do was great. I can remember when we graduated, calling my father, and they was all pretty proud. So it was for us. It was personally, it was fulfilling. Getting on the truck for the first time, going out there. We went to Boston, and it was quite an experience. But it was.
Yeah, our first drive was straight out to Boston.
Yeah.
Can you dig?
It was wonderful though. For him and the music, he did a lot through the plane. I was on the tour bus, so I was seeing a lot of the land, and I loved it. I loved being in different states. So getting on the truck to me was more exciting because it's like I'm going back out on the road again. So I was pretty excited about it, and it's everything that we thought it would be and more.
And the
stabilities
plus
and-
side to it too was that me and my partner,
Yeah.
you know, of 20 years joined together.
Yeah,
So
that was-
we from the learning of the driving and everything else, and then once we got to driving the truck and being on our own, it's like, man, okay, they paying us to drive the truck.
Right.
And
What
basically
do you
kick
say?
it, and
Babysit the
basically
truck?
kick back and do what we do anyway. Like, okay,
right.
we'll take it.
See the
you know?
country.
And then we learn together. You know, if we have questions or we help each other. You know, we don't. I mean, we could do the job by ourselves, but it's like when we have to dock a trailer,
Yeah.
we both get out, make sure everything's done correctly. When we pre-trip,
Exactly.
we're out there together. You know, so it's
Exactly.
you working.
Gassing
you
up
know,
the truck, same
yeah.
thing. He's on one side, I'm on one
Gassing
side.
up the truck.
Everything good over there? Yes, sir. Click. We
Yeah.
just, you know, we work together a lot.
Yeah.
Talk about safety, and especially being as teammates. You know, you guys are
Right,
together.
right.
Talk about the influence of safety, the things that you learn,
Right.
and the importance of it.
Safety is important. I'm trying to come home to my family.
Exactly.
Whenever we come home, you know. Plus, you know, you hear stories, you know, things happening on the road, and I would hate for something to happen to my family.
Exactly.
You know, so it's important. You know, we are always alert,
Always.
always in the mirrors, watch them tandems.
Watching the tandems.
Safety's like the biggest thing. And one thing I like about CR England is every time we call them or talk to them, first thing out the mouth is, "Are you guys everything fine?" And your
Exactly.
headsets. And then before we get off the phone, you know, be safe. And they constantly hit you with that. So it becomes in your conscience that that's what you got to do. When you step on that truck, it's about safe first.
Always
you know.
hitting you with the fatigue alerts on the
Fatigue
Qualcomm
alerts, yeah,
and
yeah.
everything like that, you know, so.
Safety's
yeah.
the biggest thing.
Safety is the
So
biggest
it's-
key, period. I mean, outside of CR
Absolutely.
England, just as a personal, you know, man myself, I've always practiced safety, you know. So coming to CR England, and you guys are really pushing that on us, and, you know, we take it serious
Yeah.
once we get in that truck.
Great. Tell us about what you're currently doing. Walmart Southern Cal. Tell us about the run, pros, cons, what you like about it, etc.
Pros and cons.
You don't have to go to
Well, I
cons if
mean,
you don't need to. Just
right,
talk about the
it's
pros.
really-
Yeah, I
Big
mean,
cab
right now we the most the run we do is the furthest run we do is El Paso, Texas,
Yeah.
and we're on the Walmart dedicated, which we got coming out of training, which a lot of the drivers were like, "How did you guys get on Walmart?" You know,
And we wanted it
We
from
don't
day
know,
one, and it
you
worked
know.
out.
They called us and said, "Hey,
Yeah.
we want you guys to join our Walmart fleet." So, you know, but yeah, the Texas is our longest run, but then we do like Vegas, and we sometimes go up north, but. I mean, it's just, you know, it's great. We're out there. It's a great drive. And, you know, me and my partner, we always have fun together. So, and we just love it.
And the pros, I think the pros are like, since we go to El Paso so much, you kind of know where to switch over drivers. You kind of know
Exactly.
the route, you know, the road. If the weather gets bad, you kind of know where it's going to get rough or
Yeah.
where it's going to get worse at. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the good thing about the dedicated routes, you know, is that you know what you're doing every time you go out there.
Exactly. Know
Well,
where to
good.
stop. You know where you're doing your pre-trip planning and everything like that, you know. So,
Good routine, it sounds like.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
guys
it's a
have
good
established
routine.
there.
Exactly.
Okay, tell us about, tell me about the people that have influenced you along the way with your CR England experience. Maybe you can list some names and how they influenced you.
Yeah, Papo.
Well, you start in the classroom. You had Richard and Mike. Richard was definitely doing his
yeah,
thing in that
yeah.
classroom. He was like, "Hey, no talking, this and that," you know. And but Richard in the classroom definitely he made you really get what was going about truck driving. Because like we said, we came in not knowing anything about truck driving, you know. And when we had questions, he would, you know, take them to the side and he'd answer those questions. So Richard was definitely a big influence, I think, in the classroom. And then you had your other guys out in the field.
On the field, like Shannon and
Shannon,
whatnot, you know.
yeah.
You have good conversation. They come off as very
Are you talking about your truck instructors now?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
in the
okay.
field, like
yeah,
when
in
you're
the
doing
field,
the practice
backing
and
up and
the
stuff.
precision backing and everything.
They're
yeah.
real, you know, to the point, cutthroat, you know, and you got to put your feelings to the side. But
Yeah.
you know, they take you to the side and let you know, this is why we do this.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
all
it's
about
a job.
safety.
Yeah, it's about being safe and learning everything. There's a lot of weight behind us. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And you could take out a whole family. You know,
Yeah.
and that's one thing you don't want to do. You know, so
Mhm.
they teach you everything you need to know and they make you feel comfortable. So,
And then after that, once we got on the truck,
oh yeah.
Renee, we called him Papo,
Yeah.
but he's actually our guy that took us out there on our what was it, phase one?
Phase one, yeah.
Phase one training, and we were with him for like what was it, the 10,000 miles?
Yep. Basically a month. 30
Basically
days.
about a month, and he was great. You know,
He was the best. Yeah. Papa was the best.
made sure if we had a lot of questions, especially about the Qualcomm, because there's a lot of things you need to know about the Qualcomms and sending out those messages,
Yeah.
and he just made sure he answered all our questions and anything we needed to know about driving that truck. He made sure we knew it before he released us to do what we had
Phase
to do
two.
on our own.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once we got into phase 2, me and this guy were on our own, and they kind of trusted us. Our first run was, when we got on our own, was to Washington. And I remember, what was it, Shawnee?
Shawnee, yeah.
Shawnee gave us a call. She's like, okay, you guys are going to get your first load. This is where you can shine and do your thing. You know? And so here you go. Sit in the car, guy. We started doing our trip planning and blah, blah, blah. And we got on the road, and we were there on time and everything else by ourselves, and we handled it. So we were like, good.
Because before we went, Papa put the word in for us to go to Walmart. So Shawnee was the recruiting in Walmart. So that's why she was like, okay, this is your chance to prove yourself, you know. So we hadn't hit the Walmart yet. We had to do our own phase 2. So we did that, and we did well. I think we did well.
So after your phase 2, that's when you got assigned as a team to Walmart,
to Walmart,
right?
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay, that's how it's supposed to
Went
work.
on to
That's
Walmart.
great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. And then Mike Sands, the man. That was my Walmart trainer. Because once, when you're going through the process, you got to go like 1 week or 5 days with a Walmart trainer. And they basically take you to, basically on their route, and they're showing you how the process is done, the stickers and everything, whatever's done with the Walmart thing.
Yeah.
But Mike Sands, the man, he was a great trainer. He was a great trainer as well. And he's the one that actually introduced that song to you guys that we did. So
Yep. Well, that's great.
yeah.
What advice, we're going to get to the song in just a minute, but what advice, thinking through your experience that you guys have gone through, have been very successful, awesome story, what advice would you give to people who are considering the industry or just starting out?
Remember that view we were talking about? The view people have a truck driving?
Yeah, that's well, that too. I would say go into it wanting to do it, to open-minded, to learn. I think that's the biggest thing, biggest misconception is, you know, you look at truck drivers and there's a different view you have.
Yeah.
You know, you don't see young, clean-cut kids out there, and I think they just need to look into it and see that, because this type of job can help so many people.
Yep.
You know, I see so many kids out of high school that that don't even have the drive to go to college, but don't want to do anything else. But it's like, yo, if you jumped in here, you could make some money for your family and take care of things, and it's just it's great. I think.
Yeah, and you have time to think when you're on that truck. That's one thing you do have time is to think. And you know, being a creative person, being on that truck and being on the road, a lot of times you have time to create, and that's actually why, you know, the Wheels Is Rolling came up. I was on the truck. Man, I like the truck. Oh, this is I like. Ooh, I like this. I like that. Song came out. Went to Don Tyler himself and told him, hey, you get on this song, because I'm doing some work with Don Tyler. I have my own studio, and I'm doing some work with Don Tyler, working on a project with him.
Yeah.
So, you know, to get him on the song was great. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect transition. Let's talk about the song. Is that when it came to you? Was it driving down the road? Tell me about the story where it first popped into your head to create a song.
Well, I pretty much like think music all the time. So to get on the truck and to kind of implement that in the song was nothing. You know, it was like, okay, I'm on the truck. I like driving the truck. CR England is making this happen. So why not? Let's do a song about CR England, you know? And so, you know, I got in my studio, came up with the beat, and then came up with the hook, which is CR England, the Wheels Is Rolling. And then, you know, kind of got with Don and said, Don, he don't know anything about trucking, so.
He called me. I believe I was just got home from school, and he's like, yo, get on this song. We're doing a song with CR England, play the hook. I'm like, cool. But I don't know anything about trucking. And when I like to write, you know, I like to have the concept down, have knowledge of what I'm speaking about, so everything can flow perfectly. So, you know, I started watching the safety videos that these guys were watching to take their tests, and I got on Google and got some like trucking terminology down, so I can kind of like internalize being a trucker. And then, I mean, it came out perfectly.
And then, when I heard it, I was like, let's cut it. You know, so.
So you wrote the lyrics?
Oh, I wrote my verse.
Okay.
So and he wrote his verse and the hook. So.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And a big part of the song is a theme towards safety.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Exactly. Well, I mean, talk about that, Don.
I mean, I mean, a big key is that when they were going through, I seen them go through the whole process. I mean, I was there, you know, dropping them off at their hotel room so they could start their training, and them coming home from training and being excited about doing something new. And it was always about safety. Whenever they're taking a test, it was like, yeah, we got a safety test, or we got to brush up on some safety tips. So I mean, just implementing that into the song, we felt it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome idea too. Awesome. We collaborated with you. You gave us some ideas as far as
Exactly.
pushing safety to the maximum. It was like, yeah, let's make a song for the truckers and for everybody with CR England, but having it be in safety first, you know, we can spread that around. They'll know that this is a safe company. You know,
Exactly.
it's also, you know, in Utah, jazz country, so we have a jazzy little song
there you go.
for you
Jazzy,
guys.
it's
Plug,
jazzy.
huh?
Definitely. So, I mean, it was an awesome idea. We feel like everybody, including the safety department, would love the song, especially
Yeah.
because it's safety oriented.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
No, there's no doubt. It's catchy. There's something
Right.
about the song that.
and it's safety
But,
compliant.
Yeah,
See, but-
it's a great message.
Initially, Zach, I just did the song for the guys that, you know, we out in the field, you know, the guys that were back in the trucks and whatnot, you know, and then, like I said, when I got on the Walmart truck with Mike Sands, we were listening to some music on the truck, we were doing our route, and then I told Mike, I said, you know how we did a song for CR England? He was like, what? I said, yeah, it's kind of, you know, I got it on my phone, so we plugged it in, and he heard it. He was like, man, BC, this is good, man. He said, email it to me. I emailed it to him. He said, I'm going to send this to some people. And that's the last I heard of it. But then the next thing I know, I'm getting a call from Tony over at Safety back in Fontana. And then, you know, next thing, we were driving.
And I got the call from him.
Yeah.
I got the call
We were
from you.
driving when you called, Zach.
I had my headset on.
Okay, good. I should have asked. That was my fault. I did not ask.
He said, "This is Zach," and I'm like, "Zach." Oh,
I was sleeping. I was in the sleeper.
right.
So he woke me up real quick.
Hey, Zach just called. What do we do?
I didn't know. I thought something was wrong, Zach. So I'm like, okay, Zach England. You said, yeah, this is Zach England, CEO. You know, I'm like, okay, did I do anything wrong? You know, but then you said BC. So when you said BC, I knew this is something to do with my artist, okay? And then you were like, hey, we heard your song and this and that. I was like, oh, this is jazzed up. It was a big thing. It was great, you know.
Well, good. Well, it's fun to finally be here today. You know, we talked for a while and
Yeah.
texted and all that, and it's fun that this worked out. So, do we have anything else that we want to cover? We good?
We need to wrap it. So.
Okay, probably running out of time anyway. So,
Yeah.
awesome. Thanks,
Great.
guys.
Thank
nice
you.
job.
Let's do it.
That's perfect.